Gentlemen, General Greene, God bless you. It is an honor to serve. Donald John Trump is secretly replacing the entire U.S. Federal Reserve System with a stable coin as we speak. This is the massive rotation I predicted a year ago, even longer than that, in my bright green praying mantis Lamborghini, because we always be praying. In February of last year, 2025, I explained in great detail. This video has been reposted on X. It's also being reposted on Facebook. I might also repost it on YouTube. It's already received millions of views because it was right on target. I explained exactly what the old monetary order would do to reset the system and reprice essentially their gold and silver reserves. I explained in detail that they would send gold and silver into a parabola. Then they would use that new wealth that they created, that they have on reserve, and they would start making net neutral purchases and resetting the new system into Bitcoin and crypto. More importantly, the US digitized digital dollar that they would borrow against the gold and silver reserves, that they would use it in a very creative way to then own both assets. And this is exactly what we're seeing today with what I believe are blow-off tops. Congratulations to everybody, gold bugs, silver bugs, absolutely amazing returns. Again, I've been recommending not just Bitcoin, but gold and silver for now multiple decades. And today's silver, absolute parabola, blows up all the way. Let's get the current information on this of 117. Okay, massive 15+% move. And now a lot of volatility. It's already trading down to 107. Now, of course, I've explained my thoughts on this, that again, Donald Trump's #1 leading investment now, this is a fact, is not gold, is not silver, and is not even real estate anymore. It's Bitcoin and crypto. It's stable coins. And again, what are they going to do? What are the elites going to do? They're going to reset into a new Bretton Woods 3.0 monetary order. This is what I've been saying. It's what fellow billionaires like Ray Dalio have been saying. It's what the smart money has been saying. Again, the elites had to figure out a way, because they're never going to pay back the debt. 40 trillion's never getting paid back, guys. There's bipartisan support for enormous debt, right? They want to take interest rates lower. So we knew that they weren't going to do that. What they were going to do is break the system. They were going to build a new one. They were going to lay the red carpet for a new order and a new currency reset, which you're currently living through now. Again, I've been fully transparent. Again, I bought silver. My cost basis is about $10, $12, below $15. So I've been taking profits at a 10x gain, a 10x capital gain. I took 25% off the top at 80. I took a 25% off the top at 100. And if it hits 150, I'll take another 25% off the top, because it's just free money. You also need to understand that broker dealers of gold and silver and physical trade in futures contracts. So when you're getting, plus 10%, minus 10%, 10 to 30% a day, like we're currently getting in silver, it's very difficult for gold and silver dealers to price that and to redeem it. And so what you don't want, if you've been thinking about taking profits, is trying to take profits when the masses do, when the herd rushes for the exits and realize we've just had a blow off top, which I believe it's possible the blow off top is today. You have to understand that gold and silver are not leading indicators historically. They're not leading indicators. No, they move into parabolas during the crisis, which means we're at peak monetary crisis now. We are at peak fear. We are also at peak fear when it comes to Iran. Another reason silver and gold has been pumping so high is on that instability. But what people are underestimating is what Donald Trump is secretly doing right now. And I know this for a fact. Again, Scott Bessent, which helped to collapse the British sterling pound, along with George Soros, was put into power and hired by Donald John Trump in the White House to collapse the US dollar. And that's what's happening now. It's not that digitized dollars are going away. They're just transferring us from petrodollars into a new USD stablecoin and a new technology that's going to be digitized. There's a difference. You have to understand this. It's an upgrade, just like Windows 99 to Windows 2005 or whatever it is. They're doing the same thing with our currency. Again, they're not getting rid of fiat. They're going to print more debt. Republicans will and Democrats. They're never paying it back, and the only thing they can do is create hyperinflation, which is what they've done. The only thing they can do is print more currency. And now, instead of printing old fiat trash dollars, which the world is selling, China is selling, America's allies are even selling in some cases, they're going to reset it into a new one. And so I always told you that the elites are smart, and they're going to work with what they already had. What do they already have at Fort Knox? Gold and silver. So they're going to pump their bags. They're going to create more money and put it into circulation and gold and silver reserves, right? They're going to take that to trillions and trillions of dollars like they've done of new profits. Then they're going to net neutral purchase, borrow against, and acquire what they really want. And what do governments really want in order to reset the system? And they'll continue to own both. Understand that. But understand that this is also the PSYOP and the campaign to move everybody into the new system. Very easy to figure out. And by the way, when things are getting too easy, okay, when double-digit gains come every single day, that's how you know that the elites are about to do something. And what are they going to do? These are the same people, I remind you, in 2008-09, bent you over, stole all your money with TARP and trillion-dollar bailouts, created the scam parabola, then collapsed it on everybody's faces, on the baby boomers. Many of you tuning in, then what did they do? Bailed themselves out, printed more currency, printed exponential debt, sent everything into a hyperinflationary event, which is where we currently sit. They're doing the same thing with gold and silver, and now they are rotating into Bitcoin and other crypto assets. So this is playing out to a T. Don't get caught off sides. This is exactly what I predicted. The elites are now in the process of bending the American people over, and they didn't bring lube. Okay, we know what these people are going to do. Don't think you're smarter than the elites. You're not. Okay, we've seen this time immemorial. We saw what they did in 2020 with the lockdowns. We've seen what they've done with everything else. 2008, 2009. It's repeated throughout history. 1929. And we're getting multiple top signals. I mean, the fact that Tucker Carlson is having Peter Schiff on his show, that's a top signal, guys. Silver hitting 15% gains in a day today on a blow-off top is a top signal. People thinking they're smarter than the elites is a top signal. You're not. This is the game plan. This is exactly what they set out. It's exactly what I predicted. I predicted specifically they would pump gold and silver prices into a parabola because Trump is secretly replacing and may in fact even nationalize the central bank and the Federal Reserve around the world. It's the only move they can make. I figured this out years ago that they're not going to pay back the debt. They're going to create a new debt system. They did this with Bretton Woods, and they're doing it now. Understand, when Ray Dalio talks about the new monetary order, this is what he's referring to. By the way, he owns Bitcoin. This is what is happening. So again, all signs are there. The geopolitical signs, imminent regime change in Iran, and people are underestimating as we're reset into the golden age, by the way, and you want to be buying Bitcoin now. People won't start buying Bitcoin till it's at 200 to 400K, just like no one wanted it at $10 when I first bought it. No one wanted silver. No one wanted it at $10, but what, they suddenly want it at 108? I mean, come on, guys, human psychology is dumb. So I'm telling you right now, the rotation and the smart money is happening now. It's happening right now. And the water is starting to shift. Also, people are underestimating how successful Donald Trump will be in the Middle East, along with allies Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and also Israel. They will reset systematically and replace the current Iranian alleged regime. Okay, they will be very successful doing that, just like they were very successful in Venezuela. Once the markets know that there's a little more certainty And after the USS Abraham Lincoln and all of our strike forces and new technology forces on the ground pull it off, and there's a little bit more quote unquote stability, that's when you're really going to see the wind hit the sail of Bitcoin and crypto, and you're going to see this entire market move higher. Again, don't be distracted by what's going on in Minneapolis. That's a psyop. Don't be distracted by politics. It's a uniparty. We know what's going on. They want people in fighting. This is Hegelian dialectic. It's Pavlov's dog. It's a setup. The only thing you should be concerned about is getting your money out of the banks, getting rich, creating massive amounts of wealth, participating in the AI reset, which, by the way, Bitcoin and crypto is the money supply of AI. This is why NVIDIA stock is at, crazy highs, and it's been in a massive parabola for now going on years. It's why Palantir stock, my number one pre-IPO stock pick, is trading at $500 billion now and has made many of my members rich. It's the same reason real estate here in Hawaii has tripled since 2020, because again, what people think is going to happen never happens. The masses are always on the wrong side of the trade. They're always late. I'm seeing the same posts about silver and gold that I was seeing about Bitcoin at 126K when I told you should be selling at least 25% of your portfolio, which is what I did, which is what I publicly recommended when Bitcoin was nearing 126K. I told you, take profits. Again, folks, when you start seeing posts that say gold and silver can never go down, and somehow the sideline critics are geniuses, that's the time to get out. Okay, so understand what's really going on here. I mean, for example, silver has a 3 times the size of the Bitcoin market cap right now. That's not going to last for long. So this is a massive monetary reset into the new order, and you're living through massive disruption, but more importantly, huge opportunities in front of us. Now, again, of course, the radical left is calling for chaos in America's streets. This is being backed by Obama, the Clintons, George Soros, and his son. Why? They want you fighting on the ground. They don't want you paying attention to the reset. They don't want you rich. They want you broke. They want you sitting in a self-driving car that now has a KILL switch. They want you controlled. They want you tracked. They want you surveilled. Now, even, this was kind of controversial, so I'll say what I can say, but I even posted this yesterday. They're straight up telling you at these meetings in Davos that they're going to implant chips inside your body. That's how they're going to connect you to the AI. So understand where this is going, how they reset it. Now, the Western order, the Western hemisphere, which Donald Trump is in control of, is going to have its own USD stablecoin. The Eastern order is going to have their stablecoin equivalent. And there's a war between both those factions. Global, I can't say it, but that whole thing, right? Flat Earth, that's breaking apart. And we are now in a bipolar world. This is the same reason Donald Trump wants Greenland. It's the same reason he's, spouted off a lot of rhetoric on Canada. It's the same reason they grabbed Venezuela's oil reserves and their Bitcoin, by the way. Let's not forget, Donald Trump, they took all the Bitcoin in Venezuela. They took all the reserves for a reason. Now, another way that the U.S. government is acquiring Bitcoin and crypto is through taxes, which they're now accepting. Donald Trump has also promised at some point there might not even be capital gains taxes on Bitcoin and certain cryptos, especially if they're based here in the U.S. It's why Eric Trump has invested tens, maybe hundreds of millions of dollars now. I don't know the exact figure on a Bitcoin mining operation. They're greasing the wheels and they're getting ready. What happened on 10/10 with the liquidity crisis? Again, that was a test. That was a washout for a reason when crypto dropped like 40, 50% in some cases in altcoins. Why did they do that? They're greasing the wheels for BlackRock. Crypto is getting ready for big time. You have to understand the whole crypto market's going to be worth hundreds of trillions of dollars in the future. Don't forget how much has supposedly changed in just the last couple of months. In the last couple of months, We went from Bitcoin at 126K, can never go down, to Bitcoin to 88K, and now everyone says it's going to zero. And from gold and silver tripling almost, in some cases with silver, and now everyone's saying gold and silver can't go down. Both factions are wrong. You must think through this logically, unemotionally. You also must understand economically and geopolitically what the setup is. Even Ukraine has been a setup for the larger order. This is why the United States government, through taxpayers, has funded trillions of dollars of debt to Ukraine. They create instability. They destabilize, just like they did in the Middle East. Why? That is the goal. The goal is destabilization. The goal is to create a red herring. The goal is a decoy. You know, you got the storms going on. Looks like that's playing out a little bit better than we expected. So all glory to God for that. I mean, man, I've been praying ceaselessly that wasn't going to turn out, very bad. But again, even that is a distraction. They have you distracted. You're being reset into the new blockchain age. This is tokenization of everything. This is what Larry Fink says at BlackRock. This is what Donald Trump is explaining. We need to upgrade stuff, he says. We need to move to new technology. He says the old system is incredibly outdated. There still has not been a single audit of Fort Knox for a reason. It was audited. You just weren't told about it, folks. You haven't been told about the audit. You're not going to get those numbers. The American people are not going to get anything till it's too late. You have to understand the big plan. Universal basic income. Social Security is bankrupt and insolvent. All of this is coming to a head. The elites know this, and they've ran simulations on it. Algorithms and AI that only they control, that only they are privy to. The real AI, not the dumb AI they give us at ChatGPT. That's a censored AI. That's a peasant AI. The elites have a much better system. They've already mapped it out. What Donald Trump is doing is building data mining centers all across this planet. He's doing it through Larry Ellison, who's one of my neighbors. They're doing this with Stargate in Texas. They're even building this underneath the White House. Not only have they built bunkers, but under the east wing of the ballroom, it's just a cover for massive investments for an AI central nervous system, blockchain operations. Even the Federal Reserve is building new buildings. Why? They're resetting the system. Again, let me explain this to you again. Trump is secretly resetting the system. He is replacing the old currency with a new one. This will become incredibly apparent soon. I'm telling you, we're entering pandemonium. We will be entering absolute maximum pandemonium in Bitcoin and crypto soon. We will be breaking record highs. Everyone's going to think they're a genius in a couple months from now. You don't want to be buying then. You want to be buying now. I see this with my own internal algorithms. I see this with my own internal social media analytics. Everyone gets excited when Bitcoin's at 126K, then they don't want it at 88. You want it at 88. I'm buying this stuff for my own kids in tax-deferred accounts. We're all in, just like the Trumps. Billionaires are painting it on their Learjets right now, for crying out loud. Guys, this is the easiest trade in history. I'm telling you right now, buy Bitcoin, buy crypto. You want to be all in. You want to maintain a strict asset allocation and a diversified portfolio. You want to exit the banks into real world assets with no bank debt. You want cash flows, capital gains. You want to be getting rich. You want to be preparing you and your family for what's ahead. Again, I did see this yesterday. Just a big shout out. Congratulations to New England Patriot fans. I was hoping that the Rams would win. I'm not a big fan of the Seahawks. But it looks like they're both going to the Super Bowl. I don't follow sports that closely, but I did catch it, yesterday. Trump was complaining about there's that new kickoff rule, which I agree with him on. I mean, it just kind of, you lose some of the intensity on that kickoff. So bottom line, this is great news. This is awesome news. I want to give you an example. When I first launched Island Project Fund 1, I launched in a bear market. Why? Because those are the times to build. When we launched the Island Project in July of 2022, Bitcoin was at 20K. Then it skyrocketed all the way to 126K. We're now launching Deck 2 at 88K. And we're going to be at 400K soon. Look, Michael Saylor and these guys are smart. Tom Lee, one of my friends with BitMiner, he's incredibly smart. These people are going to win. The U.S. government has already carefully crafted and confiscated a lot of Bitcoin. They confiscated Bitcoin from Silk Road. Then what do? They sold it at a discount to Wall Street. Friends of mine like Tim Draper. FTX was an inside job. Sam Bankman-Fried or Fried or whatever his freaking name is was a CIA deep state asset. What happened to all that Bitcoin? The government has it now. The U.S. government will issue bonds and debt, new treasury securities backed by Bitcoin and crypto. I was the first to say this years ago. Now people are understanding what I'm saying. Go back and watch my Lambo video. It's an exact prediction of what's happening. Again, reprice gold and silver just like they did in the past, then use that new money supply, the M1 or whatever it is, and buy the Bitcoin and crypto with it. Move us and rotate into the golden age, and then that way the government has the best of both worlds. They pumped their existing bags in gold and silver. Now they own all the Bitcoin. They've pre-greased the wheels with liquidity events, which were inside JOBs at the exchanges. That was an inside JOB when you saw 1010 and the liquidity event that created all that fear, broke circuit breakers. You saw a lot of people online on leverage get screwed. I always tell you not to trade on leverage because, again, you're going to get destroyed. On leverage, you're going to get destroyed. On margin, you want to be in spot. So this is the easiest setup that I have ever seen. It is an obvious rotation. The big money is moving now, and retail is going to figure it out late. So the advice I'm truly giving you is world class. I'm telling you, be very careful with silver, especially right now. Gold is actually a better buy. And it doesn't mean these things don't go higher. It just means we're getting into the shaky zone. You're getting into the high volatility blow off top zone. You've got people like Peter Schiff that have gotten Bitcoin all wrong for decades. He's costed his followers billions of dollars, trillions of dollars worth of newfound wealth. Again, your gold and silver is not going to 1000x. Only crypto can. The moves we've already seen are the big moves, in my view. Also, dealers, again, managing futures, they're not going to want to buy back gold and silver when they don't know if the market's moving 10, 20, 30% in a day. So you're not going to get a good pricing a few weeks from now, which is why I've started to exit and then do what? Reallocate to what's at a discount. Reallocate into the asymmetric bet that is a sure thing. Reallocate to what is unfavored, where there's fear. You always want to buy fear and you want to sell greed. There's maximum greed in silver and gold. I love gold. I'm a gold bug and I'm a silver bug. Again, I bought at $10. Okay, I've made people rich. But I'm telling you, start taking 25% clips. My next price target, again, if it even gets there, I'm not convinced it gets there at 150. I'll take another 25% and whack it across the board. So, what's the big picture? Debt reset, monetary reset, and engineered pre-planned geopolitical instability. A new order, a new system. Western versus Eastern hemispheres. Donald Trump pulls it off. Yes, I'm concerned about possible impeachment proceedings. I'm praying against that. Yes, I'm concerned about events that could take place in the United States as a result of these altercations in the Middle East. Those are all real concerns. But understand this fact. The elites have a roadmap. It's being executed now. All these same people are in power. None of them have been prosecuted. None of them are in jail. The same Epstein list in charge that was in charge is still in charge. They told us what they were going to do in Davos just last week, which I covered really, I think, in a lot of great detail. And they explained what they're going to do. So, you want to be positioned. Again, mark my words here on January 26, 26. A few weeks from now and a few months from now, we will be going parabolic in crypto and Bitcoin. We will be breaking records at 200 to 400K Bitcoin. Altcoins are going to explode higher. That is going to be the new normal. That is what they're going to normalize. That's why they did 2020. Lockdowns and then announced the AI immediately after. Lockdowns and then announced the AI immediately after. What did they say decades ago? Oh, they're going to ban Bitcoin and crypto. Now it's the new standard. Donald Trump's making it the new standard. Now again, the United States of America is not moving to a Bitcoin standard like El Salvador. El Salvador is doing incredible things, so are other countries soon to follow. And understand, just 1% adoption into Bitcoin sends it to $1 million. 1% adoption of pension funds, once they get clarity through the Clarity Act or whatever bills they're passing, at least 1% moves into Bitcoin and takes it skyrocketing to 1 million plus. Minimum. Not to mention the other countries moving to a Bitcoin standard like El Salvador. But the United States isn't moving to a Bitcoin standard. They're going to own it as a part of their strategic reserves and a host of other assets like Ethereum, Solana, and XRP, and the company Ripple. And they're working with Coinbase and Brian Armstrong and all these other people, and they're going to consolidate. Understand that's the goal of governments, consolidate, right? Even if Bitcoin is completely organic, they've got to co-opt it now because it's their only move. So what do you do if you're the government? You suppress what you want, you pump what you already own, and then you use that new wealth you created from nothing and you buy the stuff that you want, and then you've got a reset. So very, very exciting times. Do not be distracted by politics. Do not be distracted by what's on the ground in Minneapolis. Do the right thing to protect you and your families. Have a cogent, unemotional mind and patience. That's how you're going to make money. Dollar cost averaging now is like buying Bitcoin at 3,500 when I was throwing chairs in the pool in 2020 and then at 10x. Buying Bitcoin now is like when I first recommended it under 1,000 with my $100 million check that I've cashed since that time, and I told you it's going to 100K. I told you explicitly to buy Bitcoin before it went to 100K. It went to 126. Now I'm explicitly telling you to buy Bitcoin at 88K. Do it for your kids. Do it for your grandchildren. Hey, even if there's a small chance that what I'm saying is right, you've got to own Bitcoin as an insurance policy. You've got to own crypto and blockchain like the Trumps, just in case, which by the way, what I'm saying is 100% factual and correct. And you have to keep in mind, everybody else said I was wrong when I recommended Bitcoin under 1,000. Everyone said that sounded idiotic because they were saying it's rat poison squared by Warren Buffett. They said it was going to be banned. They said only hookers and prostitutes and drug dealers used it. And I told you they were lying. Jamie Dimon told you not to buy it. But now they're all in. Even Jamie Dimon is moving into crypto and blockchain. This is the future of money and technology. It is the Bitcoin crypto reset. It is playing out to a T now. They're doing exactly what I said in the gold and silver markets. And a lot of you, I think, especially newbies, are missing it, which is why I'm re-emphasizing how this reset is playing out. Again, it's mainstream now. If you go on YouTube, you'll see a ton of people saying exactly what I'm saying. No one was saying that 10 years ago, 15, 16 years ago. No one was saying what I was saying. I've been saying the same thing the entire time, and we've been proven right. All glory to God. This is the reset. This is the blockchain tokenization event. This is the move to digitize all real-world assets here at the Island Project. This is the new standard. Do not be left behind. Get in now. All major announcements this week. I'm working with my father. I've got to get on some calls here, so I'm going to cut this video short. Deck 2 goes live and operational this week. 50 million, no bank debt's going to fill fast. Just 100 exclusive investors, 200K minimum, have access to all the capital gains, the interest income, plus our future 1000X tokenization happening this year in 2026. It's going to be biblical, guys. This is why we built the digital Noah's Ark. So I love you. I salute you. This is what happens next. You heard it here first. Buy now. Have a great day, and I'll keep you updated, especially on the events transpiring in the Middle East. All assets are positioned. They are ready. For those of you not following me on X, you need to. It is a must. You've got to follow me at AMTV Media. I posted the targets of which has been released by the U.S. and Israel of what they'll be hitting. This will be a strategic, technological regime change. They are going to take out the major proliferation sites like Donald Trump has already done, which I predicted. He's going to win. Again, Trump is a winner. Do not bet against him. This is the golden age. This is the reset. And this is where we're headed. I love you all. Have a beautiful day. I'll have major announcements soon. God bless you.